I know this is probably a little late because I'm always like behind everything, but just got done. Didn't get to actually see the game, but Denver loses to Pittsburgh 28-10. I was at work, so I didn't get to see it except for like the first half. Uh, this has been the saga of the Denver Broncos. The last, it seems like, since Elway left. We still have a hot start to the season, and we have this November December collapse. And I know what you're saying. They're 6-2. Relax. It's 2 games. They're still 6-2. I know this other guy said on here, Broncos Central or whatever. They're 6-2. They're first place, and you have to look at the positives. Guy, you're a Bronco fan, first of all, so you should know that you should know what's coming, and it's time to, face up to the facts. This team this defense I really like, but like I said, it reminds me too much of the 2006 defense. For those that remember that year, that was the year that we were undershadowed because of the Chicago Bears defense that year. Our defense was very good going into like this time of the year, and then we had this big collapse against San Diego, and then after the San Diego game and the Kansas City game, Jake Plummer got benched and we went with Cutler. I never agreed with that decision, but that's something else. So this is where we are. Denver's got Washington this coming week. I think we can beat this team. I mean, I know we can, but I just, for some reason, I think this momentum of this team is just gone. People say, well, they played the AFC title game, basically, back-to-back. What do you expect? What I expected was a little bit of a showing that our team actually belongs in the playoffs. All they showed me is we do not belong there. That's all they showed me. We beat New England. We beat New England, but that's a team we know how to play. We've played New England well over the past, except for last year, because our defense was just horrible last year. So you pretty much can count that whole year out of the whole Broncos organization for all I care. But this has been pissing me off for years, that when we go up against the elite teams, we used to look good. Like, I mean, 06 we looked good. We beat New England, same thing, same fucking shit. This reminds me of the same fucking team, and it just looks like we're going to end up 9-7. And I don't want that. I mean, prove something different here. At least we're not going to go with a quarterback change, middle of the season. Hopefully we don't see Chris Sims. Ugh. And Kyle Orton, he threw 3 interceptions. It was going to happen sometime this year, so I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm not pissed that you throw 3 picks. I mean, that happens. Every quarterback's going to play a bad game. But you've gone 2 straight bad games. I mean, the game in Baltimore, it's like you didn't even exist. And Denver, you guys got to start spreading the ball out a little bit more. I mean, sure, you're passing to different targets. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, go downfield once in a while. I mean, you have Brandon Marshall, one of the best deep threats in the game, if not one of the better receivers in the NFL. If it wasn't for like Andre Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald, people would be talking about Brandon Marshall. So, and quite frankly, I think he's maybe not as good as Andre, or as Fitzgerald, but he's at that third level or that second level of receiving core. He's a very good wide receiver. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the guy, but I know he's good. He's a good receiver, and okay, this is reminiscing here. But this team has got to wake up. Washington, if we lose this game, I'm already saying the season's just about done. Bronco fans, we really need to look at there are no fucking positives as far as I'm concerned. There's no fucking positives going forward. There's nothing left. This is what this team is. This is what this team does every single year. and they have done nothing to prove me wrong. The only thing they have shown is that they do not belong in the playoffs. They do not belong there. They the only team that they looked very strong against was San Diego, as far as a playoff team. And San Diego, barely got in last year at the scrape of the teeth. If it wasn't for our fucking collapse, which got rated like the number 4 most biggest collapse of all time for whatever reason. I mean, it's like you could name just about the 2002 season, the 03, the 03 and 04 we were in the playoffs, and 05 we were in the title game. But the 06 season, I mean, that's the biggest fucking collapse, as far as I'm concerned right now. It's just really frustrating to be a Denver fan. You got the AFC this year is very good. You have, if we want to really go down what Denver's record should be, I mean, we should have lost to Cincinnati. The Dallas game could have gone either way. In the New England game, I'll give that to us because we came back to win. And we only looked strong against Cleveland and Oakland and San Diego. And two out of the 3 teams aren't even anywhere near like a 5-win football team to begin with. So yes, I know we play Kansas City twice, but as you guys should know, Denver struggles in Kansas City. They had for years, just like Kansas City struggles in Denver. It's just one of those trends. Doesn't matter how shitty the teams are, they split every year. We'll have a home game against San Diego. That should be a fun game, but like history repeats itself, we tend to always struggle against San Diego down the stretch. Division games, that's what it is. If we can win our fucking division games, we'll be in the playoffs, but that's not what it's about. And Broncos Central, when you say that you're comparing the Super Bowl teams, the 98 team to this team, that's just absurd because sure, that team was 11-5, but it had John fucking Elway and Terrell Davis. And the team that was 14-2 that went to the playoffs, the 2 games that they lost against Miami and the Giants, remember that Denver already had home field advantage all clinched up before they even lost those games. And second of all, they were the best team in the AFC that year. So they lost to the Dolphins, and the Giants weren't even in the playoffs, and they were in the NFC that year. We did play the Dolphins in the playoffs, so we made that game look like a fluke, because that's what it was. It was a fucking fluke. Not to disrespect any Dolphin fans out there, but it just was. And we won the Super Bowl, yes, because we were the best team, and we played the worst of the 2 NFC teams with Atlanta. So we can't compare. We can't really compare the 98 season to this season, because it's just not the same. It's not even close to the same team, and not even close to the same style. First of all, no Mike Shanahan, and I know that makes me contradict myself saying the 06 season, but you can compare the 2 seasons because we play the same style. It was the same style, mediocre offense with a very good defense, same as this year. Very good defense, mediocre offense, but the offense has got to put up some points sometimes. I mean, the last couple of weeks, we only put up 7 points against Baltimore and 10 points against Pittsburgh, but that was the defense that scored the points. So it's like we've scored 10 points in the last 2 games, and we're supposed to be a fucking team that's going to be in the playoffs fighting for home field advantage. Sorry, it's not going to happen. I hope if I had to pick a winner, I'm going to say Denver's going to beat Washington, but it's going to look ugly.